Hey, friend, welcome back to the Lifestyle School podcast, where we cut through the noise, throw out the gimmicks, and focus on what actually works to create lasting health and sustainable weight loss. Today, we're going to talk about something that almost no one pays attention to, but that quietly dictates literally everything about how you feel and how your body functions. It's the reason you wake up groggy, craving sugar in the afternoon, feeling wired at night, and wondering why no amount of willpower seems to work. It's the reason your hormones can feel chaotic, your energy unreliable, and your weight loss efforts inconsistent at best. This hidden force is called your circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock. And if this clock is out of sync, everything else becomes an uphill battle. But here's the good news. If you get it working with you, it can become one of the easiest, most powerful tools for healing your metabolism, balancing your hormones, boosting your energy, and accelerating weight loss naturally. So, today we're going to unpack what your circadian rhythm is and why it matters for more than you think, the ways our modern lifestyle disrupts it, a lot of times without us even realizing it, how this impacts your metabolism, hormones, and weight, and finally, how to reset your rhythm and realign your body to run the way it was designed to. This is going to be hopefully a very eye-opening, and I can promise an eye-opening episode. But um, my hope is that at the end of this episode, you're going to see how your daily habits affect how your body responds in a whole new light. But guys, real quick, before we get into it, just a quick reminder, this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. I am not a medical doctor and I'm not pretending to be one. So if you decide you want to make some big changes to your diet or your lifestyle, please make sure that you are working with a qualified healthcare professional for your specific needs. With that, guys, let's dive into our circadian rhythm. I think it's important that we start at the beginning of, what is our circadian rhythm? Hopefully, you've heard that phrase before. Maybe you haven't. I feel like in just the last couple years, I hear people talking about our circadian rhythm more, and it's really encouraging. So, our circadian rhythm is a 24-hour internal clock hardwired into our biology. Okay, it governs almost every process in our body. When you naturally wake up and fall asleep, when your body temperature rises and falls, when your hormones are released, when your cells repair themselves, when your digestion and detoxification systems are most active, when your muscles are strongest, and when your brain is sharpest. There's a master clock in your brain in a tiny area referred to as the SCN inside your hypothalamus. It's a very large word, and at this stage of pregnancy, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, guys, because I know I won't be able to say it. So, but it is referred to as your SCN. So you can look it up if you really want to know the medical term for it. This master clock gets its cues directly from light, specifically natural light entering your eyes. Okay. When light hits your retina in the morning, it sends a powerful signal to your SCN saying daytime has started, release cortisol, increase alertness, and ramp up metabolism. Literally, that's what it says. And this is why we talk about morning sunlight here at the Lifestyle School podcast in my Lifestyle School for Weight Loss course so often. But your body doesn't just run on that one clock, okay? Every organ, your liver, your pancreas, your gut, your muscles, your fat cells have its own their own peripheral clocks, okay? These clocks respond not just to light, but to when you eat, when you move, and when you rest. The key they keep your body synchronized, okay? There's a lot of synchronized swimming going on. like the different instruments in an orchestra would be another example. The SCN is the conductor, the organs are the musicians, and everyone is in rhythm. And I should say, when everyone is in rhythm, the music really flows, right? It's beautiful. But when they're out of sync, absolute absolute chaos. And that's why you might feel, quote, off sometimes, even if you're eating well and exercising. If your daily habits are pulling these clocks in different directions, your body's entire system is out of rhythm. And a lot of times you can really feel that. So now, why does this matter so much for health and weight loss? You might be asking. Well, because your circadian rhythm dictates when your body is most prepared to handle food, burn energy, repair tissues, and regulate hormones. So let's break down a typical aligned rhythm, what this would look like for a typical person. So in the morning, your cortisol peaks naturally to wake you up. Your metabolism speeds up, your brain is sharp, insulin sensitivity is high, meaning your body handles carbs and glucose efficiently. And then we get to midday. Oh, excuse me. That was a large yawn. We get to midday, body temperature and reaction time peak, your strongest and most coordinated, and your digestive system is primed to handle your largest meal. So at lunchtime. And then we come to the evening, melatonin begins to rise, cortisol drops, your metabolism starts to slow, digestion slows, insulin sensitivity drops dramatically, and your body starts preparing for sleep, recovery, and repair. And then overnight, growth hormone pulses during deep sleep, triggering tissue repair, muscle building, fat burning, and memory consolidation. Okay? This rhythm is ancient. It's built on the daily rising and setting of the sun. But when we override it by staying up late, staring at screens at midnight, eating big meals at 10 p.m., or getting too little light during the day, this entire system starts to collapse. What happens is our insulin sensitivity starts to plummet. Our blood sugar becomes unstable. Leptin and ghrelin, which are our hunger and satiety hormones, get out of balance. So you're feeling constantly hungry and never satisfied. Horrible, right? Our mitochondria, the little energy engines of our cells, produce less energy. Inflammation starts to creep up, and a lot of times our mood drops. And here's the kicker: you can be eating the same food and doing the same workouts, but if your circadian rhythm is disrupted, your body will store more of that food as fat and burn less of it as fuel. And that's how powerful timing really is. And so, what are the things that are breaking our rhythms? I'm sure you heard that and you're like, oh, huh. Maybe you're having some, oh shoot moments as you're listening to this, because you're realizing some things about your daily rhythms, right? Honestly, almost everything about our modern life really can be disruptive to our circadian rhythm. So let's talk about a couple of them. Number one, artificial light at night. Our phones, TVs, LED lights in our house all emit blue light that tells your brain it's noon, even if it's actually 10 p.m. This delays melatonin, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. So, you'll see like blue light blocker glasses. I think those can be a great tool, but why not turn off our phones, turn off the TV, and read a book before bed if we need to wind down, or talk to our partner, our significant other, maybe even like call a friend, talk to someone on the phone, have a conversation if you live alone, or just play some soft music and allow yourself to just be and sit in stillness. What a thought, huh? We got to get that artificial light out of our eyes at night. Blue light blocker glasses, I think are a great tool, but why don't we just like go one step further and get off of our phones, right? Next is irregular sleep and wake up times. If you've listened to any of the episodes where we talk about sleep, and I feel like sleep comes up in like every episode because it's so important. I think it's just a foundation to changing your lifestyle, changing your health, changing your weight. But irregular sleep and wake times, even on the weekends, is going to mess up your circadian rhythm. Think of it as like a social jet lag if you're staying up super late on the weekends, as if you flew across time zones every weekend. Our body loves rhythm and routine, guys. And I hate to say it, but sleep is one where we can maybe get away with a little bit, but if we push it, we're going to become dysregulated. And you've probably felt that. You're like, oh, I went to bed at, midnight on Saturday night, but I still slept until 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. You weren't drinking any alcohol, but you still woke up on Sunday morning feeling a little hungover because like you feel are so groggy and you can't wake up. That is the circadian rhythm jet lag. The next one is late night eating. This is going to disrupt your circadian rhythm. Your digestion and insulin response are really slow at night. So food spikes our blood sugar, and your blood sugar is going to go higher because your insulin is not as sensitive late at night, and more food is going to get stored as fat. And all of the work, like your body wants to go through these repair processes at night, detoxification processes, but so much energy is being consumed by digestion. It's not optimal. My husband has to pretty much every month he works a string of night shifts, and he has found that he like can't eat food overnight. And so he'll eat dinner and then he eats breakfast, and he doesn't eat overnight, and then he sleeps during the day. So maybe he'll wake up in the middle of the day and eat a little something, which again, I don't think is super ideal. But if he eats on his night shifts, he experiences a lot of digestive distress. And I think this is actually very, very common for shift workers. So the late night eating is something that we got to nip in the bud. Constant snacking is actually another thing. People don't think about this in relation to their circadian rhythm, but eating from the moment you wake up till the moment you go to bed keeps your peripheral clocks confused and out of sync with the master clock. Okay, so remember your master clock is a circadian rhythm. Your peripheral clocks are your different organ systems, and the constant snacking really messes with them. Shift work and travel are also big ones that are going to get us out of our circadian rhythm out of whack. Night shifts, frequent time zone changes directly scramble our SCN system in our hypothalamus. And, sometimes there's just like no way around that, but figure out how can you optimize an inoptimal situation, right? And that's what I try to do with my husband. And then lastly, chronic stress. Okay. High cortisol from stress flattens your normal cortisol rhythm and suppresses melatonin. And so we got to get stress under control in our life. Sometimes easier said than done. But if you haven't already, go back and listen to my episode talking about Dr. Eppel, EPEL, on the stress prescription book that she wrote. There's just so many good nuggets in that book that I shared in that episode to help you, like, I don't know if embrace stress is the right word, but essentially accept the things that you can't control and walk through them and in a way that's going to help minimize the stress that you're feeling. These disruptors don't just impact your sleep, though. I want to be really clear. They create a full body circadian misalignment. And the longer you live out of sync, the more you risk, your weight starting to rise up, your insulin starting to rise, your development of type 2 diabetes, depression, and even different cancers have been associated with circadian rhythm dysregulation. So the good news is, though, your body is highly adaptable, right? Our bodies are absolutely amazing, guys. I do truly hope that as you listen to this podcast and you learn more about your body and how it works, hopefully in a very accessible way, you're like, wow, like my body is amazing. And I hope it just, increases your gratitude and your awe of how awesome your body is. Cause I truly think you give your body the right tools, your body wants to heal. Um, but so many times we don't give our body, I think about it as like the raw materials. Our body is a house, and we expect our body to build and maintain this like beautiful, luxurious mansion, our dream body, but like we don't give it 2x4s or good nails. And then we're like upset when it falls apart, right? So our body wants to heal, it's highly adaptable. And your circadian system can be recalibrated surprisingly fast. Okay. Usually within a week or two, once you give it strong, consistent signals. Okay. But they have to be strong and they have to be consistent. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. So if you need to pause this episode, grab a pen and paper, we're going to give you some tools to put in your tool belt. Okay. Number one, you have to get morning sunlight every day. Okay. You wake up, and within like the first 30-ish minutes of getting up, you are stepping outside. Even if it's cloudy for 5 to 10 minutes and looking into the sky, looking towards the sun. What this does is it triggers a healthy cortisol spike. It improves your alertness, and it starts the timer for your melatonin to rise 14 to 16 hours later. Super, super important, because this is going to get your wake sleep cycle back on rhythm. Okay. Number two is you have to consistently, and I say consistently, underline that. Try to keep your wake time and your go to bed time stable. Okay. Preferably somewhere between 7 and 9 hours in bed. Okay. This locks in your cortisol rhythm and makes mornings so much more effortless if you can keep your sleep wake time consistent. Okay. Preferably in bed by 10 at the latest. Number three, front load your calories. Okay. I know in the fasting world, sometimes this is like hard. Because if you're doing like a 16-8, you're doing 2 meals a day. A lot of times it's just so much more convenient for people to do lunch and dinner, which I totally get. But make lunch bigger then and make dinner lighter. Okay. Front load your calories, eat your biggest meal earlier in the day. Your body handles nutrients better before mid-afternoon. And this is really, really big. Stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed so your body can focus on repair instead of digestion overnight. Okay. So I know this one's really hard. Do the best you can with the circumstances you have. Again, we're not in this for perfection, but the more mindful you can be about this, especially if you feel really dysregulated, the better it's going to be. Number four, you're not going to be surprised by this one. Limit artificial light at night. Okay. So dim overhead lights, use lamps, avoid screens an hour before bed. You must, if you have to use screens, wear blue light blocking glasses. This is going to help your melatonin continue to rise later in the night. Number five, move your body in daylight hours. So if you can, exercise earlier in the day, if possible. It strengthens your cortisol curve. It improves your daytime energy, and evening workouts can delay melatonin and keep you feeling wired. I don't know if you've ever done like a late night workout and then not be able to fall asleep. That I really struggle with that. So I can't work out at night. I have to work out in the morning. But that is really important. Number six, and we have 7 here, guys, so we're almost done. Build an evening wind down routine. So lower the temperature in your house. People sleep better when it's cold. Stretch, read, journal, maybe take a warm bath that's not too hot. But give your body consistent cues to signal your brain it's time to sleep, especially if you're someone who struggles to fall asleep. And then number 7, anchor your day with light and dark. Okay. So we're thinking light in the morning, darkness at night. This one rhythm shift alone can transform your energy and mood and metabolism. So, as you start, it gets later in the day, closer to night, dim the lights down. Like, don't have every light on in your house, right? Start to set the mood. These changes might sound super simple, But I am telling you guys, they are incredibly powerful when done consistently, and you will feel the difference so fast. I had a client who was having a hard time getting out of bed. They were so tired, dealing with high cortisol, but also from just a lot going on in life. But then also their circadian rhythm, I believe, was totally out of whack for a number of different reasons. This person started waking up and going outside right away in the morning, and then going to bed at a consistent early-ish time, even though they didn't really like it wasn't part of their normal routine. And so quickly, like it was, I mean, whoa, I just hit my microphone. Sorry. I just hit my coffee. Uh, anyways, guys, I'm talking with my hands. Not good when you have a microphone right there. Um, Sorry, a little distracted. They felt so much different so faster, to the point where me as their coach was like, I was a little surprised by how much better they felt and how quickly it happened. Like I knew it would work, but I thought it was going to take longer. So let's tie this all back to metabolism, because this is the part most people miss when it comes to realigning our circadian rhythm. What it's going to do is it's going to improve your insulin sensitivity. Your cells respond better to insulin. So your blood sugar stays stable and you burn fat instead of storing it. Okay. It regulates your hunger hormones. So it's that balance of leptin and ghrelin, meaning fewer cravings and more satisfaction from meals. Who doesn't want that? It's going to increase your mitochondrial energy output. So more energy means more spontaneous movement and less fatigue. Raise your hand if you want more energy. My hand is up. It's going to boost your growth hormone release during sleep. And what this does is it repairs your tissue, it builds your muscle, and accelerates fat burning. Again, I want that. And then lastly, it improves your mood and your willpower, right? Better sleep means better emotional regulation. We talk about this all the time. So you can actually follow through on your goals. And this is why trying to lose weight while ignoring your circadian rhythm often leads to feeling super burnt out, plateaus, and a whole lot of frustration. When you get the rhythm right, your body finally stops fighting you and it starts cooperating. And we are all about working with your body and not against it here at Lifestyle School. So, a few quick notes if this feels maybe a little overwhelming, or if you run into obstacles. If you wake up at like 3 to 4 a.m. and can't go back to sleep, your blood sugar might be dipping. Try a small protein-rich bedtime snack for a few nights while you reset and see if that helps. Okay. If you are naturally a night owl, shift gradually, like 15 minutes earlier every few days. Your biology will adapt, but don't force it to try to happen overnight. Like if you're going to bed at 1 a.m. every night, right now, and you're like, Hope, going to bed at 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. sounds like in theory great, but like there's no way I could ever fall asleep. Gradually do it over time, right? Move there slowly. Another one is if you're a partner and you have unpredictable or sorry, I got off track. Rewind. I said the wrong thing. If you are a parent, I was going to talk about like if your partner had issues, but we're going to talk about this instead. If you're if you're a parent, or if you have unpredictable schedules, just focus on 2 anchors for your circadian rhythm. So, like I'm going to have a newborn baby come the new year. I am not going to be able to probably be on the sleep cycle that I want ideally, right? But anchor on two things: morning light and stopping food after dinner. These alone can really help reset your rhythm. And lastly, if you've had years of late nights or shift work, you got to give your body patience. This takes time, but I can guarantee you your body will respond and you will eventually sleep well again. But you got to be consistent and you got to stick with it, okay? And remember, this is about rhythm. It's not about perfection. Your body thrives on consistency, not rigidity. Aim for alignment most of the time. It's not going to happen all the time, and that's okay. Just take a deep breath. Okay. Your circadian rhythm is the foundation for your health. And our health is really built on that. It is, if this clock is off, everything else becomes harder. And we want this to be an easy process, right? Getting healthy and losing weight. But when our circadian rhythm is aligned, your body becomes more efficient, your energy becomes more stable, and your weight loss becomes far less of a struggle. Who doesn't want that, right? So start with one thing. I think getting outside in the morning, getting light in your eyes, or stopping eating a little bit earlier in the night. Try to get to that 2 to 3 hour mark. Small steps create massive change, you guys. I know I say that almost probably every week, but it's so true. I think a lot of times we glorify like these big, huge shifts that we do, but in reality, it's like the small things that we do that become habits that we're consistent in, that we build over time. That is truly where the big long-term change happens. And we look back 10 years from now and be like, wow, I did that one small thing and here I am 10 years later and I'm still doing it. And I've built so much more on top of it. And you guys, that is success right there. And that's what we're aiming for here at Lifestyle School. And if you're ready to build a lifestyle that supports your circadian rhythm, your hormones, your metabolic health from the ground up, this is exactly what we do inside of my course, Lifestyle School for Weight Loss, that you can find on my website, www.hopeplatcoaching.com. I also offer an 8-week personalized coaching program alongside of that course. If you are like, the course sounds great, but I need like an actual person to hold my hand and walk me through it, I feel a little overwhelmed, I would be so happy, so honored to walk alongside of you in that. And so with that, you guys, I hope you see the value in prioritizing your circadian rhythm. And I want to help you. I hope you feel like you have the tools to create daily rhythms that work with your body and not against it, so that your energy, your weight, your mood stop feeling like a battle and really start to become predictable, right? In a positive way. And if you haven't already, guys, subscribe to the podcast, leave a comment, share it with a friend. I would be so blessed and honored if you did that. Thank you so much for being here today. Go get some sunlight in your eyes if it's not super late at night, and we will see you next time on the Lifestyle School for Weight Loss podcast.